What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Unplugged and Uncut, the new source for sports news and entertainment. I'm your host, Unique, and today we got a blockbuster trade idea put together from the multiple rumors floating around there in the NBA. That is right, guys. We got a trade for the 76ers, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Atlanta Hawks. This trade could help all three teams out. And once again, the trade is basically built around the rumors that are actually out there on the internet right now, what these teams have been looking to do. But before we get started, guys, if you have not taken the time to hit that subscribe button, make sure you do. We will be giving away that PlayStation 5 and the game of your choice once we hit 100,000 subs. All you got to do to enter the win is be a subscriber and leave comments in the comments section. That's all. But without further ado, the NBA trade rumors have been heating up, guys, and they have been going wild. Lots of players to look out for. And in this trade, we're going to piece together the Philadelphia 76ers, San Antonio Spurs, and Atlanta Hawks rumors. So, for this trade to work, the Philadelphia 76ers will be receiving DeJounte Murray, Danilo Gallinari, Zach Collins, 2 first-round picks, and a second-round pick. Blockbuster. Next, we got the San Antonio Spurs getting Ben Simmons and John Collins. Ooh, blockbuster. And then the Hawks on a little bit of the not so blockbustery side, but it is in lines with what they've been talking about. The Hawks wind up receiving Derek White, Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks, and I put Shake Milton in here for salary matches, but you could put the Big Penguin in there too. Andre Drummond, same salary concept, just somebody in that $1 million range to make it work for Philly. And the Hawks also get that Chicago Bull first-round pick from the Spurs that they wanted. So the Hawks get everything they wanted. Philly gets close to what they had asked for from the Spurs, and then the Spurs get big. So, let's go ahead and get into the meat and gravy of this trade and why the 76ers say yes. Now, from Philadelphia or the 76ers standpoint, this one is kind of hard for them to say yes to because they have been wanting to get a star player for Ben Simmons. They want to possibly wait out for James Harden, except the James Harden situation might be harder for them to obtain than they think, because you're going to have the Brooklyn Nets play ball with you in that sign and trade package. So this is assuming that the 76ers are like, you know what, we're off that boat. We want to get Joel Embiid some help right now. He is playing at an MVP level. Let's get the man some help. So the Sixers say yes because they get DeJounte Murray, an all-star level player. He might not have made the all-star team yet, but the kid is playing like an all-star, and he is averaging almost 20 points, 9 assists, a little over 9 assists, like 9 point something, and almost 9 rebounds, like 8.8 rebounds. Not to mention 2 steals. That's right, a 29-9 player with 2 steals, bringing you offense and defense. So you get that. You get Gallinari, who's a good fit off the bench or can start in some spot moments as a stretch big. If Tobias Harris is hurt or moves down to small forward, you could put Gallinari in there with Joel Embiid, and they can run that inside-outside game with their bigs. So he's a good fit off the bench or in spot starter minutes. Now, John Collins is coming off an injury, so he is there. He has shown in the G League since he's came back and started playing a few games that he still got it. The man had 4 blocks in 1 game in under 20 minutes. That's playing some defense. And not to mention, the 76ers are set up with the future draft capital. 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick, or 1 first and 2 second rounds. That's 3 draft picks added to your capital. And that's why the 76ers might say yes. Now, why might the Atlanta Hawks say yes? Well, they have reportedly reached out to the San Antonio Spurs for a John Collins and Derek White, Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks package if it had that first-round pick. So they're getting what they asked for. They're getting Derek White, who can play next to Trae Young, offensive juggernaut as a point guard, and then you get Derek White to play defense, take charges, block shots, and be a secondary ball handler next to Trae Young. That's good. Thaddeus Young, I mean, he can help you off the bench, or he can start, and he's a good forward to small ball 5 to have out there that could really help a team win. They need him. And then they also get that first round pick once again that they had wanted, and that pick coming from Chicago, so it don't hurt the Spurs as much. Now to my favorite team, why the San Antonio Spurs might say yes. Well, this is a chance for the Spurs to sell high on DeJounte Murray and Derek White. Their backcourt of the future becomes the backcourt that leads them to the future in this trade. Now, losing DeJounte Murray and Derek White would be hard, but the Spurs say yes because they get a star. That's right, Ben Simmons is a star. He's an all-star. He's a borderline superstar. He's not as offensively gifted as DeJounte Murray, but his defense is legendary to make a guard 1 to 5. So you get a star. You also get a co-star. That's right. Ben Simmons, John Collins, two co-stars, a co-star to run with them. These are 2 players that you could build around. And then you still got a lot of young talent out there with Primo. You still got Primo, you still got Vassell, and you still got Keldon Johnson. You got Trae Young. So there's still a lot of good young talent on the team as well. And this gives Pop a chance to win one last time. That's right, the Spurs go big or go home. They literally go big. If you check out the lineup that the Spurs would be starting after this, they would be huge. You're talking about a lineup where the smallest person is listed at 6'5". Ben Simmons at point guard, 6'11". Devin Vassell listed at 6'5". Looks like he might be 6'6". He might have grew a little bit. Keldon Johnson listed at 6'6". John Collins, 6'9". Jakob Poeltl, 7'1". That is the opposite of what the Spurs have been doing for a while, going ultra small micro ball. And I think that could pay off. It's worked for the Cleveland Cavaliers, going big. Allows you to play some good defense. And then you got Ben Simmons out there who's a defensive maestro. So I think that's why the Spurs might do it. You get the send Pop out with one last chance to win, a serious chance to win and fight for the playoffs and see what you can do. You put a couple pieces around Simmons and Collins, and you never know what that turns into. So let's look at the Spurs lineup if they were to do this trade. Because we got the starters out there. We got Simmons, Vassell, KJ, Collins, and Poeltl. That's probably going to be your starters. Now your second unit is pretty formidable too. You got Trey Jones, Lonnie Walker, KBD, Dougie Big Buckets, and Jock Landale. If you need to go a little bit bigger, you could throw Juan Hernan-Gomez in there. You still got your two-way players in Wisekamp and Kaycock that could come in there and get you buckets as well. And then the main player to watch out for would be Josh Primo, splitting that Trey Jones and Lonnie Walker duties. Maybe even get some small forward stints, but I could see him running the 1, 2, and 3 there. And then you got a nice team. Now the Spurs would be short because they traded 5 and only picked up 2 players. So that gave me one more thing to look into for us, guys, and that is players that could help the Spurs if they made this trade that are free agents. And I got 4 players to look out for. The first player is retired, but he is one of the best shooters of all time, and that is J.J. Redick. That is right. J.J. Redick has played with Ben Simmons, is a great catch-and-shoot player, and would slide in nicely as a starter or off the bench to play with Ben Simmons. I know he hasn't played this year, but he was playing last year, and that's really not that long. So if J.J. Redick has some type of shape or is in some type of game shape or could get there, I could see him being somebody the Spurs reach out to play with Ben Simmons, and having that familiarity with the player already could go a long way. But JJ is retired, so that one is far-fetched. Just want to throw it out there. Players that are not retired to look out for: Dante Exum, a good point guard, shooting guard player that could come and get some spot end of the bench rotation type minutes. Now, guys, these are just players that help fill out the bench because the Spurs would be down, losing 5 players and only picking up 2. These aren't players that come in and make a splash and just destroy the league. Even though Dante Exum was believed at one time to have a lot of potential, I could see him being a good end of the bench rotation player for the Spurs to come in and help close out some games. Tyler Johnson has already been with the Spurs in one stint on a 10-day contract. I could see him getting extended the deal for the rest of the season just to fill out that roster a little bit deeper. And then the last player, guys, I'll mention is Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker, former lottery pick, excellent offensive player, just has no desire to play defense at all. And you never know. He was recently cut by the Celtics. Maybe that puts him in the mindset where, you know what, I need to go out here and play some defense. Probably not, but you never know. And again, he's just going to the end of the bench just to have the extra body, the fillers, a player that knows the NBA, and he can still get buckets. He might go in there and get you 10 points in the last 3 minutes of the game and then give up about 10 points or the other way too, because he ain't playing no defense. So that's okay. Jabari Parker's a good player to add in there as an end of the bench player, guys. So that's what we got. We got some free agents to consider for the Spurs if they do make this trade. Guys, we got a big blockbuster trade that has been floating around in rumors. This is not just a trade that I put together myself. Now, I did put some of the pieces in there to make the contracts work, but these are rumors that have been floating around the NBA circle on Hoops Hype, Hoop Rumors, Bleacher Report. So there's some validity to this trade proposal that we have here. And I think this is good for the NBA as well. I think the NBA does better when the Spurs are a good team. The Spurs have that international appeal and they bring in that worldwide market. So I think getting Ben Simmons over there with John Collins could help the Spurs. I think getting DeJounte Murray and those draft picks for Philly could help Philly. I mean, the boy Joel Embiid don't need much. As you can see, he's a straight monster. And I think the Atlanta Hawks, even though they reached out for Derek White, I think they're just in a situation where they feel let down because they did so well last year. They expected to be in a better situation, and that's why they're reaching out to teams about John Collins. I don't know if I'm necessarily trading John Collins myself if I'm Atlanta Hawks, man. That boy is a beast. He's like the perfect power forward. He can get you inside buckets, outside buckets, and he tries hard on defense. But guys, I'm going to be checking the comment section on this one because I know somebody going to kill me for this trade and be like, oh, your trade idea is horrible, Craig. Horrible. And that's okay. You can call it horrible. Somebody going to be like, man, I hope they do this trade for all teams involved. But I'll be checking the comments to see how everybody feels about this one, y'all. It's been fun, but your boy out. Peace.